Hi everyone, it's Nicole Wilkins with Fitness RX for Women, and this is my next question and answer segment where I took your questions from Facebook and I'm going to answer them for you today. The first question is, Nicole, when you do legs, does your lower back ever burn or get fatigued before your legs during a set? I struggle with this sometimes. Is it normal? I do feel my lower back sometimes if I'm doing multiple exercises in a row or if I catch myself with my form not correct. So what I would recommend is make sure that you gradually increase the weight, watch your form, stretch, take a little longer rest between sets, and make sure that you're doing lower back strengthening exercises and core strengthening exercises, because that could also be part of the fatigue that you're feeling, just that your legs are stronger than your lower back. So try to incorporate some of that into your weight training and that should help. Hi Nicole, I'm at 15% body fat, 5'6", 122 pounds, weight train 4 times a week, cardio 4 times a week. I want to increase some muscle mass, but I'm afraid that increased caloric intake would increase body fat too. How do you avoid that? The way you avoid gaining a ton of body fat quickly by increasing your calories is to do it in very slow increments. So obviously you're not going to add 500 calories every other week, because that would definitely be, you'd be much more apt to gain body fat quickly if you do it that way. So I would slowly add maybe 100 calories a week or every other week and assess how your body is reacting to the slow increases in change. You can also add another day of weight training in if your goal is to continue to build muscle, because 4 days is not a whole lot when you're looking to try to build mass. So I would split your workouts up a little bit more and shoot for 5 days instead of 4. Do you have a recommendation as to how to prevent knotted muscles? The knotting that you're feeling is just really, really tight muscle. So the way that you reduce that is by stretching after your workouts or in between sets when your muscles are warm. Getting deep tissue massage therapy is huge. I highly recommend doing that at least once or twice a month if you can swing it. Foam rolling is another great way to break down the muscle and kind of alleviate some of the knotting and just help relieve that sooner. You could take Epsom salt baths. You can increase your glutamine, but all those things will help. Stretching and massage therapy are two of the top of my list. Many people say cellulite is a hereditary issue and that people with cellulite will always have it. Do you believe it's possible to get rid of cellulite through lifting and cardio paired with a clean diet? Or do you think some people will always have cellulite due to genetics? It really depends on how much you have. I do think that cellulite can be a genetic trait, but it also has a lot to do with lifestyle as well. If you have a little bit of cellulite in the back of your legs and your glutes, I would say probably 90% of women have some cellulite somewhere. But when you decrease your body fat to a very, very low number, most of that will go away. However, if you have it in the front of your legs, you have it all over your body, then I would say that some of that may not necessarily go away. But it really depends, like I said, on how much you have to start with. You can drastically decrease the amount that you have through diet and exercise. What is the best way to move up in dumbbell lifts when working with 5-pound increments? When doing 4 sets, should I do the heavier weight at the beginning and drop to the lower weight after not being able to reach the full number of reps in a set? Or do lighter on the first set and add weight on the last set, then work backwards to get all sets at the higher weight? Okay, so what you're describing is called pyramids, and it's a training technique used by so many people. In fact, I use this primarily in a lot of my lifts. If you're trying to increase weight and you have 5-pound increments, you start with a lighter weight first. You don't want to just go right into the first set and lift as heavy as you can. It's a great way to get injured. So lift at a weight where you are challenged to get 15 reps. So the last few reps it's burning, you're struggling with your repetitions. But 15 is a number where if you increase it to five more pounds, you should be able to get at least 12. So you rest about 30 to 45 seconds, maybe even a minute, depending on what exercise you're working. And then you increase the weight by 5 pounds, and then you shoot for 12. You might even surprise yourself and get 15. So let's say you get 12. The third set, you increase by 5 pounds again. And then your goal is 10, and you might even get 12. So then by the third set, you increase it again, and your goal is 8 to 10. So that's typically how a pyramid works. The weight goes up, the repetitions go down. You could do a reverse pyramid, but I don't usually like to train that way. I feel like I would get injured if I started with my heaviest weight first and then increase the reps and decrease the weight as I went. So try that way. And if you can get 15 reps and you could do 20, then you definitely need to increase the weight. And the last question I have is, I've been working out with weights, cardio, and HIIT for over 2.5 years now. I've noticed a huge change in my physique, and so have others around me. I'm very lean with a high metabolism and stick to a very clean, high protein, low carb diet. All that being said, I've struggled over the last year with insomnia. I've consulted my physician and he checked my thyroid for anemia and a few other blood tests, and all blood work and thyroid tests came back within normal. My physician gave me a prescription for sleep medication, which makes me feel awful the next day no matter how small the dosage. I feel the issue stems from my vigorous workouts. I don't drink caffeine after 12 p.m. I don't drink any pre-workout drinks in the evening when I often work out from about 5:30 to 6:45 or 7 p.m. most evenings. Even on my rest days when I don't work out at all, I still have a hard time going and staying asleep. I've read where cortisol can often be the culprit and need to take vitamin C, and I've tried that with no added benefit. I don't want to stop working out, but the insomnia is really starting to drag me down. Please help. So, a few things can cause that. One, I don't know what your job or your daily life looks like, but if you are a very type A personality and you hold in a lot of stress, that could also be keeping you up at night. If you're laying down and all you keep thinking about is everything you have to do the next day or what you didn't finish that day, or you're going to forget something, or you hold in those feelings, try putting a notepad by your bed and writing down notes so that way you can rest more sound, knowing that you're not going to forget the things that are on your mind. Another thing you had mentioned is that you're on a high protein, low carb diet. If you've been at a calorie deficit without a lot of carbohydrates for a long duration of time, your body might be in overtraining. So your body might not be recovering well, and it may be causing a restful night's sleep. I would take one day and double or even triple the amount of carbohydrates you're having normally and decrease your fats so that you have an influx of carbohydrates. The carbohydrates may increase your leptin levels, and you might find that you sleep better. So give that a try and see if that helps before relying on the prescription medication, which of course obviously is making you feel awful. I hate to have that. A more natural form of a sleep aid is melatonin. So maybe melatonin is something you also want to try. I would try like 2 or 3 milligrams about 30 minutes before you go to bed to see if that gives you a more restful night's sleep. Lay down, push your shoulders down to your feet, and so your shoulders aren't up by your ears, and try to clear your mind and turn all technology off, and hopefully that helps. So those are my questions and answers for this week. Until next week, keep asking your questions on the Fitness RX for Women Facebook page, and I will be back here every Friday to answer them for you. Until then, keep living the fit life.